Good afternoon. We are at Greenfield Games doing a Warhammer 40K 6th edition Escalation League. This game is going to be Bob versus Tim, 750 points. Necrons versus Imperial Guard. I'm going to tell you about my army. I'm running a Commissar Lord for HQ with a Power Maul, a Penal Legion squad, Melta Vets with the Demolitions upgrade in a Chimera. I'm running a big Blob squad. Platoon command squad is basic, and one infantry squad has a heavy bolter. One is plain and the other has a heavy bolter also. And I'm running a Demolisher tank. Tim, you want to tell us what you're fielding?
Sure. I am running 3 units of standard Necron warriors, a Destroyer Lord as my warlord with a with some nifty war gear, and then a 4-man unit of destroyers.
And he already started deploying a little bit. We are playing the Purge the Alien scenario, and we're playing Hammer and Anvil table sides. I'll be back to show you the deployment. Okay, we are at deployment. Both of our strategies were a little thrown off with no objectives and Necron's not bringing any big vehicles, but I'm doing a big blob squad here, Demolisher tank here. The Commissar Lord is attached to the blob squad. The Melta Vets with Demolitions are in the Chimera, and the Penal Legions over here, they're going to make a Scouts move. And the Necrons are lined up here, lined up, hanging out in the forest. And in that forest, we're going to roll to see how the forests behave. And I'm going to roll to see if I can steal initiative right here. And I do steal initiative. Alright, we'll be back with Imperial Guard turn 1. Alright, Tim is about to make his stand back up roll. Let's see how many of these Necrons stand back up.
1.
Alright, so this was the end of Imperial Guard shooting. Imperial Guard turn 1. Blob Squad moved forward and shot. Demolisher moved forward and shot. Chimera moved forward and shot. Penal Legionnaires moved forward. Command unit had no good orders to issue. And we ended up with 3 remaining Necrons in that squad. And we'll be back with Necron turn 1. Alright, tell us what happened at the end of Necron turn 1.
Necron turn 1, everybody started fleeing towards the Ironbark Forest, where everything can actually live.
This is an Ironbark Forest, and this is a happy little Bambi safe forest. So these guys are moving. Everybody, all Necron units are hightailing it to the Ironbark Forest. Okay, this is the end of Imperial Guard turn 2. The Platoon Command Squad ordered the Blob Squad to move, and they ran really fast. The Penal Legion ran really slow. This guy moved and shot at those guys who went to ground and survived. This was, of course, just a hair's breadth out of range, and it turbo boosted forward. Be back with Necron turn 2. This is Necron turn 2. What happened Necron turn 2?
Necron turn 2. This unit continued heading towards the Ironbark Forest. This unit took cover behind a tree and then started firing at a Penal Legion along with everybody else, and now that Penal Legion no longer exists.
Penal Legion has been wiped out.
Destroyers came outflanked on the side, helping in the destruction of the Penal Legion. And that was the end of the turn. 1, 2, 3 of them stand back up.
3 Necrons standing back up after Imperial Guard turn 3. Demolisher shot, it's a direct hit, knocked out a couple. Platoon Command Squad did first rank fire, and some of the guys in the front got 2 shots off, killing some Necrons here. The Chimera turned around and popped off some multi-las shots at the destroyers ineffectively. And that is it for Imperial Guard turn 3. Alright, this was the end of Necron turn 3. Necrons consolidated in the, what's it called, Ironwood Forest?
Yep.
And they are, what's their cover save now?
3+.
Ridiculous. Very nice cover save, hiding in the
2+
woods.
if I go to ground.
Destroyers moved over here to match up with the Chimera and did a hull point, and be back with Imperial Guard turn 4. Okay, it was a pretty ineffective round of Imperial Guard 4. Demolisher went off and missed. Blob Squad ran. They got orders from them. These guys, Melt-A-Guns, were just out of range, and Multi-Las was ineffective. Back with Necron turn. Alright, Tim, tell us about Necron turn 4. What happened?
These units, now fully protected by the Ironbark Forest, started finally returning fire, doing a little bit of scratches to the big tank.
One hull point.
And then the destroyer unit over here completely wrecked the Chimera and popping the veteran unit that was inside of it.
All right, Imperial Guard turn 5. Okay, this is Imperial Guard turn 5. Here's what happened. Demolisher shot everything into the Necrons.
Don't forget to mention that it's night fighting.
It is night fighting, let me tell you that. It is night fighting, and the Necrons have gone into cover with the Ironwood Forest.
17 lasgun shots plus the Demolisher.
17 lasgun shots, the Demolisher, the Stubber, 2 heavy bolters, all that, and because of night fighting and the Ironwood Forest, only 1 Necron died. These guys just moved because they got pinned. And that is it for Imperial Guard turn 5. To see if the game continues, go ahead and roll.
No.
The game does not continue. The game ended with a very successful Necron round. Tell us about it, Tim.
Necron round, all of my Necrons, except for the smallest unit, consolidated into one big clump in order to take out the Leman Russ and take off a few of the closer of the Imperial Guard blob unit. And over here, I fired a couple pop shots at the veteran unit who
Killed
took
a guy.
a casualty.
All right, that is the end of the game. What's the total final score?
Final score is I've got 4 points for kills, or 3 points for kills. 1 for killing the first unit.
Yep.
1 for the line breaker, which is 5. And then you have
line breaker. Tim, I want to thank you for a great game. Thanks for helping me out with the rules. And you have a beautifully painted army. Let's get a nice look at the Necrons. And there's the guardsmen that managed to survive. Tim, do you have anything about this? Is your first 6th edition game? Anything interesting about 6th edition?
The night fighting rules are significantly different from before. The difference in how vehicles work is a very different change. Besides that, there's nothing really much for me to say at the moment with just the first game.
Right. And great. I want to thanks again for the game. We just did a 750-point game for our Greenfield games in Greenfield, Massachusetts, Escalation League. And we'll be back with more battle reports.